Same exact thing. I tuned them for their real shoots in DebRecovery. I will recover this stage. The big lifter, which is 7 of the 4X engines, it's kind of hard to see the bottom of it, but 7 of these 4X engines, this entire stage is tuned to be recovered with real shoots. Same thing with the kicker stage. I've got a wacky looking kicker stage here. Again, real shoot tuned so that I recover all this. Even the top part, even the Epic 5 itself, so this entire top part of the rocket, this thing is tuned for atmospheric reentry and recovery using real shoots. This thing will land on Kerbin, in the water, or on the land at 5 meters per second, and we recover this entire thing. The long and short of it is that the cost of the launch is over 1 million, but we recover 80% of that. So to take this fuel up to the station and deliver it, all we need to do is spend only 200,000 credits to deliver 4 full tanks up to the orbital fuel rotary. Does this thing... I wonder if I should launch one of these. I'm trying to remember if I have completely fixed this, and it feels like I may have been in the middle of it because of these chutes here. Where are these chutes at? They're on the backs. These chutes need to be up here. There we go. Alright, it looks like I'm all good to go. I would expect shoots on this stage. I don't see shoots on this stage. Huh. There's something about the tuning of that. It's like we kick the stage. That's for that. These shoots. Those shoots. There looks like there's a couple shoots that are on the wrong stage. Interplanetary calculator. Oh, let me look it up for you right quick and I'll toss it into chat. All you really have to do is do KSP. It's Alex Moon's interplanetary calculator is the one I use. Launch window planner by Alex Moon. Copy. So here, check this out. That's the interplanetary calculator made by Alex Moon. It allows you to say where you are, where you're going, and it'll tell you when you should try to get there. How much delta V it's going to cost you, all that sort of stuff. This calculator is totally useful, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I know that the guys who do Kerbal Engineer, Cybertech and Padishar also does a version of Engineer. I believe that Cybertech is working with Alex Moon to try and get this calculator included in Kerbal Engineer. I'm not sure if it's going to be in there in the next release or anytime soon, but I have heard rumors that they were going to put some version of this calculator into Kerbal Engineer so you can access it straight there in the game. That would be freaking awesome because I use this calculator all the time to do interplanetary transfers. But have a look at that thing. Let me look at this rocket and see if I can't do a launch of this rocket, and we'll close out the stream with sending some fuel up to the orbital fuel rotary. Let's see here, since I'm here in my... Yeah, that's correct. So basically what I need to do is get these chutes and put them in the correct area. I'm wondering if it didn't crash and I saved it under a different name or something because I was pissed off. Wouldn't be the first time. Because I can't remember using this. Let's see here. Those chutes are definitely down there. So you need to be up here. He's going to have a counterpart across the way. That one already looks like it's there. What stage is that? Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. Those are already there. Those aren't there. Looks like I just grabbed the wrong side or something. These guys, they're still down there. And these guys, there they are. And then I just have 6 real chutes that are supposed to deorbit the quad clusters. Yeah, you should definitely do it. Actually, I may have a better thing for you here. If you go into Google and you type in KSP cheat sheet, Kerbal Space Program Wiki. Does it? Where's the interplanetary calculator? I thought it was on the cheat sheet here. Huh. I guess it may not be on the cheat sheet. Why would they have taken it off? This is mostly equations and stuff. I mean, if you're interested in... I could have swore. I mean, I see the Delta V map on here, but I don't see the link to Alex Moon's calculator, which I thought was here. Anyways, I'll link it anyways since I've mentioned it. there's a cheat sheet if you're interested in some of the actual equations behind some of the maneuvers. Yes, Soul Wager. I do believe that you can do that. I do not tend to do that. I like to use the calculator and actually calculate the phase angles. But I'm not going to say that you couldn't you couldn't do a rendezvous, an interplanetary transfer, without using the calculator. Did I say that somewhere? I'm not sure. Let's see here. I think we're good to go. I think I fixed all the staging on this. That doesn't make any sense. What are all these separators? Oh no, those are solid boosters. They're not separators. And that guy doesn't have... Yeah, that's fine. There's those chutes with the things that pry him off and his radial decouplers. That's the next stage. That's the kicker stage. Okay. That is the... Yep, that's fine. And that looks fine. Let's take this thing out for a spin and see. Save. And I'm still... Yeah, I'm good to go on the Delta V. And I'm good to go on the thrust away. Yeah. This was the redesign. It's got 2 mainsails. Let's see if this thing flies while we're waiting to spool down the stream here. And then I'm going to see who else is streaming and see if we can't send some people off. Did I click launch? Yes, I clicked launch. Please don't fall apart on the launch pad. This thing is physics intensive. I think Soul Wager, type it over in the chat. I think what you're talking about is you can actually leave Kerbin's Sphere of Influence and be in a solar orbit next to Kerbin and then do your transfer. Is that what you're saying, or do you have a way of being in orbit around Kerbin and doing the same thing? Change your orbits, period. I mean, all you would really have to do would be to get out of Kerbin's Sphere of Influence, put a node on the path with an apoapse of the same height as the planet, and then drag that thing around the orbit until you get an encounter. Is that what you're saying over there? Or are you saying from around Kerbin itself? I'm interested in that, because I wouldn't mind doing a session on it. Wow, that physics lag. Alright, panel lock. We're going to see if this thing flies, and see if we can't do a direct rendezvous with the orbital fuel rotary. Wow, which is coming up. That's good timing. Let's see here. Ooh, I need to write down the cost of the ship as well. I didn't write down the starting. Oh, it's fine. Link Strife, this is the Epic 4 automated fuel drone. And it's designed to deliver 4 full tanks to the orbital fuel rotary that we'll see shortly. So there... Nope, that's not the orbital fuel rotary. That's a different craft. That's the MUT 4. Let's go ahead and... There we go. Is this it? Are you it? Orbital fuel rotary? Yeah, there's the orbital fuel rotary. We're going to try for a direct rendezvous with the orbital fuel rotary. If you haven't seen the orbital fuel rotary, stick around. You may be in for a bit of a treat, or this rocket may completely blow up. Let's see here. Alright. SAS engage. Throttle this puppy all the way up, because it requires a crapload of thrust to get 4 full tanks up to orbit. Let's see what we can do. 3, 2, 1. Hey, it may fall apart. I may have been working on this and I just don't remember it. Bop. That looks like a clean separation. Now we're gonna see if any of our radial decoupler bugs causes this thing to come falling apart. I really wish I had a super huge nose cone, like a nose cone the size of this, that would go over this entire structure here. See how I have a big flat thing on the kicker stage? Oh man, let's see if we can do this orbiter. Yeah, I definitely have some lag with all these rockets, or with all the parts. Okay, I gotcha. I don't do a lot of planes myself, so could I do that with procedural fairings? Could a procedural fairing encase this entire kicker stage? Because that would be awesome. I've never installed procedural fairings. I do try to keep the number of part mods down. In fact, Real Shoots is the only part mod that I have. I try to focus on the stock game because I think that makes it a little bit more accessible to more people. But Real Shoots, I had to install Real Shoots when I started using DebRecovery, and 2.4 came out where they didn't include some sane way of recovering your booster stages. Maybe it's just that I don't build sane booster stages. Let's see here. First, we're going to ditch these backs. The boosters off the side, they're the first things to run out. I think they scraped the paint. There they are. Let them stabilize. Stage them. There they go. They're away. And we should see DebRecovery grab those things. Once they get more than 2.5 kilometers away from us, see they're falling back there. Once they get more than 2.5 kilometers away, DebRecovery will pick them up, and we will see what happens over here. I should get some of that money back. There we've spent. Oops. No, they haven't deployed yet. That's fine. I'm going to have to do multiple things at once. I need to watch these quad boosters. So let's see. I think I ditched them, if I remember correctly, right before... Yeah, here we go. There they go. Ditch them. Clean separation. Bueno. Oh, here we go. Those things didn't quite land. This is something I didn't show. 6.17, seriously? So because it didn't land under 6.0 meters per second, I only got a partial refund, a not great refund on those. I got 35% back instead of 80-90% back. So, oops, I need to be doing a gravity turn as well. Let's delete all these. So I do need to go back and retune those bottom chutes a little bit, it looks like. But I also need to be doing a gravity turn. Here we go. There's our 6 quads. Let me point 45 and then I'll talk about that. This is a big rocket. Come on now, Bessie. Lean over. Let's see. Come on. Lean over, but don't flip over. There we go. So let's see here. And stop the rotation. Lock it in. Alright. Debris landed safely, so all those quads landed at 5.1 meters per second, and for each one I got 2,700 and 2,800 back. So 6 times 2,800 is what Real Shoots and DebRecovery got me for tuning those stages. This stage here is the freaking kicker. If I remember correctly, this stage cost like 500,000 credits, and recovering some portion of this stage is freaking important. I'll hear these engines go off so I can read the chat. Doo-doo-doos. Same boat, need a plane. Link Strife said procedural fairings. Yeah, didn't install that yet. Haven't ventured into the realm of FAR. Something I'm going to look at. Never let them stabilize. Yeah, I let them stabilize. Let's stage and kick off. There we go. And raise the Apo apps till it gets up to 50 while I read the chat. Don't have any mods yet. You know, I felt that way as well, Link Strife. I felt like if I couldn't do it in stock, then I couldn't do it in mod, or I shouldn't do it in a mod. Like I said, the first part thing that I installed was procedural shoots, and the only Real Shoots, and the only reason I installed it was so that I wouldn't have to spam stock parachutes. There's 50, so let's go with our orbital burn. So I wouldn't have to spam so many stock parachutes to recover the stages with DebRecovery. I mean, you'd never be able to recover that lifter stage. You would spam hundreds of parts on it before you could recover it sanely. And just to keep the part count down, that's why I went with... did I already run out of fuel in the middle? Yeah, I did. That's fine. Just to keep the part count down, I installed Real Shoots. Don't have any other part mods. It's just so much. The mods are so awesome, and there's so many things in freaking KSP that people have taken it upon themselves to mod. You can spend a whole heck of a lot of time perusing the mods. It's really cool that people put that much time and effort into it. Let's see how we're doing on that rendezvous here. This should be the rotary. Set it as the target. It's getting away from us. I'm going to have to catch up to it. That's not cool. And it's because we don't have great thrust to weight with this craft. So I may need to tune some stuff with this. This was release candidate 1, which means that it was not exactly perfected yet. I would have been good to go if I had launched a little bit sooner. But let's see what we can do. We can always stabilize at a lower orbit, like that. Grab this, add maneuver, put it in the apoapse. Orbital fuel rotary rotates around up there, around 85, I believe. So we can stabilize at a lower orbit and catch up to it. So we're not going to do a direct rendezvous here. Where the heck? Oh, there's a periapse over there. That doesn't make any sense. Is that on the other side of the planet? Why does it look so funny? Oh, because that's not my periapse. That's the target's periapse. Never mind. There's the apoapse, 154. Let's make it 75. 72, actually. And I'm going to have to burn this really quickly. There we go. Let's do this. A minute burn? In node in 32 seconds? That doesn't seem right at all. Let's just start burning and see what we got. I still feel like this craft needs to be balanced. It's kind of flying sideways, and I'm not entirely sure. Maybe these chutes on the top. It doesn't seem like there should be anything that should give me this much. Yeah, look at that. Look at it trying to correct over here. This craft definitely needs some more work. Let's see what we got. 500 meters per second. We only have 1,000. Definitely cutting this close. Parachute deployment failed. Reason? In space. There's this target. So what I'm doing, because I launched a little bit late, the orbital fuel rotary is in a little bit higher. Yeah, there we go. Altitude 74. Wow, that's not much. The orbital fuel rotary is in a little bit higher orbit, and I'm going to try and set my periapse to 70 so that I can catch up with it. Is what's going on here, because right now it's flying away from us too fast, and by setting my periapse a little bit lower, I could even set it down in the 60s. I'm going to come on the inside of it, just like when you're in NASCAR or F1 or whatever. You get there faster if you're on the inside of the track, and so I'm going to set up an orbit that's on the inside of the track and catch up to him. May take an orbit or two, but we'll go ahead and do it this way. So where's my periapse? Let's just go ahead and burn prograde. Yeah, there we go. Watch till that periapse gets up out of the atmosphere, and then cut it when it's right at 70. So there we're positive. There we're out of the soup. There's an orbit. That apoapse is killing me. We're wasting delta V doing that. What's going on? Oh, there's my periapse right there. You know, I'm going to be fine with that. I'm fine with that because look. Target position. Yeah, we need to come in just a little bit faster than that. We'll be fine, though. We'll be fine. I can burn straight north and change this periapse a little bit. Let's ditch that node. Not straight north, straight up. If you've orbited the moon in Minimus 2 phase, there's a couple things you can do. Danthus, yes, I'm actually doing live streams every single week, and Orbital Rendezvous and Docking is one of the live streams. So at least once a week I'll be doing a stream where we take off, we rendezvous, and we dock. So that's definitely good. Soul Wager, you're exactly right. If you launch too early, you can always loiter in a little bit higher orbit. You can actually kind of arc out past your target orbit, and that does make it easier to rendezvous. It looks like you were saying it for a different reason than me. Let's see here. 60, I can deal with 60. 3.3, look at that. So we're going to lose a little bit of it, but I already have the rendezvous set up here. 3.3 kilometers. I'll take it. So I'm going to come over to here, focus on the node, and because you can warp faster. I usually don't, because in order to warp faster, you have to go up past 120 to get to the next level of warping. And so going out to 120 usually wastes a lot more delta V, so I don't typically rendezvous by going up to 120. That's certainly a way that you can do it, but that's not a way that I typically would plan a rendezvous. Let's see here. I think we're going to have to remove a lot, aren't we? No, there's so many darned orbits. Let's just match our apoapsis here. There we go, and then remove some velocity. There we go. I like how that's shaping up. Yeah, 1.8. That's beautiful. Right there. Danthus. I will set it for you. I'll set it right now. Right now I said that tomorrow I'm going to be doing an interplanetary transfer session, which I'm sure that Soul Wager will show up and correct all of my methodologies. I would actually appreciate that. So that would be Tuesday. So if you want to say Wednesday, I'll go ahead and schedule this week, schedule the docking and rendezvous, or rendezvous and docking, other order. Rendezvous in docking. And I will schedule that for 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday of this week, if you want to do that. Let's see here. That's exactly what we just did with this rendezvous, Soul Wager. The periapsis was like at 50, and then I kicked it up to 60, and the apoapsis was like 90 or something. Well, 100 it looks like. And so exactly what we just did is what you talked about. Oh, wow. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Looks like that's changing a little bit. We'll have to wait till we get back up out of the soup and replan that node. But Danthus, did you get that? I mean, Wednesday, if that works for you. I don't know if I can always one a mother. Always be able to schedule it like that, but what I'm trying to do is just do nightly things. Like we'll have Go to the Moon Monday, and we'll have Docking Wednesday, or whatever, so that I do the same sort of session over and over again. And people that miss it one week can catch it the next week. Just so the purpose of this is not to just screw around with the Kerbal Space Academy stuff. The purpose of this is exactly what you're looking for. So you could catch a stream, and you could come in here and watch me take off, watch me rendezvous, watch me dock, and ask questions. And then I can actually use the stream. Is the only day you can't make it. Thursday then. I'm writing it down on my calendar here, and I'll do that session Thursday. So Thursday, I'll do the rendezvous and docking. And hopefully you'll be able to make it there. Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, let's say. It's a date. Not like that, though. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward past this, because this is kind of boring. Where am I at right now? We're focused on the node. Let's go ahead and focus on the vessel. There I am. Let's get back up out of this. Apoapsis 74. Huh. Let's get back up out of the soup here, because I did accidentally put this craft in the soup. It's never a good idea to try and do docking when your orbit is like 60 to 70, because all you have access to is physics warp, unless you install a mod. Yeah, Danthus, I've got it written down, and on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll do a session on rendezvous and docking, and we'll see how that goes. Whoa, careful! This ship does not like being moved when physics warp is turned on, but I need to get back up out of the soup here. Interstellar transfers tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm doing that one tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Wow, it actually thinks that I need to do less of a burn? That's interesting. Where's my target? Because we were supposed to be coming within 3-point-something kilometers. Where'd you go, target? There you were. I saw it for an instant. 10. Well, heck. What are we fast-forwarding for? This is ridiculous. Why don't I just freaking fly the mission and do the rendezvous? That's dumb. Yeah, and I do need to put together, if not a website, a thread on the forums that says what the schedule is. So we'll do, certain things one night, certain things another night. I do need to put that together. Yeah, forget this whole node thing. Who needs a node? We'll do it live. Thrust to weight 0.9, good enough. That'll get me there. Let me bend this orbit over towards the rotary. Kill off some of their relative velocity while I bend the orbit. There we go. Hey, look, DebRecovery kicked off. Let's check that out. Landed safely at 5.5. I recovered 408,000 credits, funds, Kerbal bucks, whatever the heck those things are. I recovered 408,000. That was my main lifter stage. Got 85% of that back, so 408,000. I don't care what you're doing, that's a lot of missions to farm money. So using DebRecovery is such a huge change for you in 0.24. Let's look at that other one. We also had 116,000 we recovered from the kicker stage, landing at 5.2. Again, that would be 500,000, 500,000 credits down the tubes if I hadn't used real shoots in DebRecovery. I am a big fan of those mods. Don't get me wrong. So here we are coming up to the orbital fuel rotary. We're about to get into physics range of it, and I'm going to slow down some because I would hate to run into it. 25. I feel good about 25 meters per second. Anybody who hasn't been up to the fuel rotary with me before, check it out. If you don't know what 42 Kerbodyne bats, the big ass tanks, are, you're about to find out what 42 tanks on a space station looks like. There's physics loading. Now physics goes yellow. There may be another fueler parked up here already. Let's see. I'm gonna slow down a little bit more while I bend my orbit over towards the rotary. There we go. And then when I get within 500 or so, we'll have a look. I don't know what you can't wait for. What can you not wait for, Linkstrife? I need context. I don't even know. It's so hard. The delay with what happens in the stream versus when I see it in the chat. It's hard to respond to things that people say sometimes. Let's coast. Because we'll coast faster if we turn off. Wow, we're 1.5 kilometers away. Do you see how big that thing is? Who needs distant object enhancement when you build stations that are big enough to be seen from significant distances? Alright, I'm going to need to bend again. Ah, you can't wait to see the fuel thing. Nice, me neither. I hope it's still there. Let's cut this down to 10. You got the beginnings of it. Let me turn off Kerbal Engineer. I don't know. I need to ask if next time Cybertech shows up, I'll ask if minimizing it keeps it from doing the calculations. Because it does cost you a little bit of CPU-age to do those calculations. I need to really bend over towards it a little bit more, and then we can coast. Come on, go straight at it, buddy. There we go. Now we can coast. Oops. Wrong direction. Oh, wow. I really need to put more Werner engines up there. Huh. Links, tomorrow I was talking with Hag, and tomorrow I'll do a Kerbal Space Academy session on how to do interstellar transfers. So how to design a ship that can get to, say, Duna, and how to actually burn the transfer so that you could get an intercept with Duna, and then how to get captured around Duna. We'll pick what planet it is tomorrow, but that's... Hag was asking some questions about that earlier. Hag, I hope you don't mind being called Hag. And I said that I would do a Space Academy session on that topic tomorrow. So that's what he's talking about. Alright, we're missing it wide a little bit here. That's fine. We'll go ahead and kill our velocity right about here and then fly on in. So you can see the beginnings of the fuel rotary over there. And I'm going to kill this velocity whenever I get about Here. We can do it from there. Nope, you're pushing it the wrong way, buddy. That's okay. Alright, so let's flip around and go do this docking right quick. Honestly, a lot of times whenever you put more mass on the craft, it makes it harder to get where you're going. A lot of times people are like, oh, well, I'll just slap some more rockets on there, and then I'll slap some more stuff on there, and then I'll slap some more fuel on there, and then I'll slap some more... Oh, okay, cool. I must have missed that. But hag. Alright. Let's flip this thing on around and activate this craft. I think I can shut it down right now. Yeah, there we go. Open up the ports, turn on the lights, shut down the engines. Good space ops include not having your main engines activated when you're flying around the space station. So here I'm just oofing my way through the turn until I can get pointed at this thing. It is slow. Look, I love the fact that the off-center mounted mainsails can be used for roll control. I'm pressing Q and E and they're waggling in opposite directions. That's just cool to me. Where's the fun in that? It's always a balance. It's a balance between actually accomplishing the mission and accomplishing the mission in an awesome way. So you always have to try and strike a balance. Alright. So I'm getting popped back around here, and then I'm going to give myself some velocity. Which way's up? That way's up. So we also need to flip over. I mean, one of the things, even with all of these, even with all of these controllers on it, actually, I think I'd be better off if I just put the big controllers. That's probably what I'm going to do. Put big controllers on the end of these instead of the smaller controllers, the smaller reaction wheels. Come on, stop rotating. There we go. And then rotate up. There we go. Alright, let's get over to the fuel rotary. Nice. That's the same thing. People either call me DOS or they call me Val. And I do not mind when people call me Val, even though I am clearly not a Valerie. Also not related to Val Kilmer. Oh. Well, then apparently I'm floating away from the rotary a little bit. That's not what we wanted at all. Let's line this thing up. Love those Werner thrusters. The Werner thrusters are my friend. It just helps you keep the part count down. This thing doesn't really feel like it's balanced either. Look at it wagging around. We've got some things that we need to do to this because the center of mass is not center of massy. Is this tank full? Yeah, alright. So we can do this. We can counteract the weight of the mainsails by pumping some fuel up here. Let's see. And that may be why I'm going off kilter. Nice. Hey, Linkstrife, thanks for the follow there. Ooh, check it out. Apparently my new little follower thing worked. I heard the tring and I knew to look over at the screen. Sweet. Alright, so now we'll pump this fuel up here. We'll disable these tanks. And we'll just use the fuel remaining here. Yeah, there we go. Alright. To do our rendezvous using those Werner engines. So now we're going straight at it. Alright, now we're in action. Back in business. I don't like how wonky this ship is. See, every time I tap the button, it just... This ship needs some work. We'll have to do a couple sessions working on this ship. It needs to be balanced. And it needs to stop rotating around like this. There we go. Val. No, it actually is Valdez. Is how I got the nickname Val. And I got the nickname Valdez because my real name is John. And so I went by Juan for a while because I grew up in deep South Texas. And so Spanish was very much a part of my formative years, I guess you could say. And then for some reason at some point somebody was calling me Juan Valdez, like the coffee dude. Not the oil spill, like the coffee dude who had the burros and brought you fresh ground coffee straight from the mountains of Colombia. And I didn't do Juan Valdez. I used to go by Valdez, which was already taken on Twitch. So I went ahead with Das Valdez. And now you know. G.I. Joe would be proud. Alright, let's get up to this rotary. I've been talking while I try to tweak my approach, mostly because the ship was not very balanced during the approach. So let's get on up here and dock. I feel like I've got a good approach going on here. I'm going to go for this docking port right there on the side. So let's go ahead and untime warp, slow down, and align. I really need to get me one of those key cams, because it's one thing to say, and now I'm pressing the N key to slow down, and now I'm pressing the J key to translate left. I'm the Juan. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to aim for this docking port. Not the mutt. The mutt is over here fueling itself up. I want to set that docking port right there as the target, which will activate my nifty nav ball docking port alignment tool. I love this mod. Link down in the channel description. Back in the day, I used to use the laser docking cam. I really love the laser docking cam. That thing was cool. Apparently it fell out of favor, and people started using that Navy, was it Navy Fish, I think, was the docking cam that people started using. I don't really like that one. I feel like it's a little bit too busy, and I don't feel like it presents the information in a format that really makes a lot of sense to me. So I really like this here, which gives me a little red ball on the nav ball. That's going to tell me when I'm lined up with the docking port, which I'm already good to go, it looks like. Pretty close, at least. Pretty close. And then I just need to translate over so that I coast. See my green thing? Again, I'm drawing a straight line. I'm drawing a straight line from myself, where I'm pointing, through the target with the prograde vector. This means that I'm kind of passing it. I'm just going to the side like this. Let me illustrate it here. I'm passing this down and to the left, right? Left, right. Correct. I'm passing it kind of in this angle here. And that's what this nav ball, because I'm oriented with my dorsal side up, my two little dorsal indicators lights, I'm going to be floating in this direction. I'm floating towards this, and as I float towards this, I'm going to float through the target, which means we'll be lined up directly at the target here shortly. So that's how that goes. This is actually a no Kerbals allowed space station. There's not any room for Kerbals to hang out on here, because it is not the type of place you would want to take up residence at long term. I actually went through an episode where I designed an emergency, kind of like a snack lounge. If your ship comes here and your... how much fuel do we have, by the way? Let me make sure I have enough right quick. Yeah, we're good to go. Alright, geez, RCS. If you come here, your ship's fueling up. It's a manned vessel. That's cool. But if you're going to go over and hang out on the orbital fuel rotary, there was a snack lounge that was up here on the top, and the snack lounge had a quick escape system so that you could actually get the heck out of Dodge if the shit hit the fan. I need to correct this. Same thing. I mean, the same thing. This is what I'm doing. My vector, where I'm pointing and well, I guess not my vector. My vector would include this. My heading, I'm pointing in this direction. This is my target, that docking port. This is where I'm going. I put it in a straight line. And what I want to do is whenever I'm lined up with the target, that docking port, I'm going to suck this green ball up into the pink ball. And that will mean we're going straight at the docking port. In fact, I'm going to slow down a little bit. And again, what makes this easy is the fact that I have my dorsal side up. The dorsal side, the top of the craft basically, is up here. That's what allows me to press, if I need to go left, I press J. If I need to go up, I press K. I think a lot of people have trouble with docking and rendezvous simply because the craft is oriented in a wacky kind of orientation, and it's hard to figure out what key combination to press. Anyways, we'll go over all this on Thursday when we do rendezvous and docking. Let me cut off the spotlight. Oh, come on, didn't I have an action group? Yeah, there we go. I have an action group just to turn off the spotlight. That Mark II illuminator. So here I'm just coming straight in. 0.8 meters a second is too fast to close, but I'm just coming straight at it. Let's puff backwards and slow down some. There we go. Puffing backwards. 4 I feel better about. We're just coasting on in. And we've got our docking port open right there. Alright, we're good to go. Jeez, that lag. I need to get the mud out of here. I really should cut this station in half. I mean, nobody needs 42. 42 of the biggest tanks in the game docked in orbit. I just did it to show that I could do it a while back. And it's not full. I think it's about half full right now. It carries over 500. Is it 500? Carries over 500,000 or 600,000 units of fuel. So I'm just flying this mission out here because I had so many people in the stream and I wanted to finish it up with tying in using DebRecovery and real shoots in the real world. Remember, we've already recovered, what, 550,000 credits about, maybe more, maybe 600,000 credits worth, just because we were using DebRecovery and real shoots. So we're closing here. I need to slow down some. Nobody closes at 5 meters per second. Slowing down also lets you get a little bit more resolution on your vector there, although this ship is kind of jumpy. Something's clipping. I don't like clipping. If you toss a rock at this, it would just bounce off. I recommend, there is no stock one. We can definitely do a stock docking tutorial. It's definitely possible. I recommend the mod that's down in my channel description, the nav ball docking indicator. That's the one I recommend for people who are new to docking. It's just really easy to see what's going on. Alright, let's coast. Coasting. Because I don't want to close at 10 meters per second. I want to close at a slower rate than that. Alright, let's level it off. I mean, this nav ball down here, it doesn't give you all the numbers and that sort of stuff. I think it's so simple, just lining the red thing up with the pink thing up with the green thing. For people that are new to docking, new to orbital maneuvers, I think this is just a very simple way to dock. And that's why I really advocate it. Let's slow down some more. Nobody docks at 3 meters per second. We dock at less than 1 meters per second, please. There we go. That's 1, and we need to go down. Whoa, we're going. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. The red thing got off the green thing a little bit, but we can fix it. And there's a dock. No bouncing, no shimmying. The freaking game didn't even have to correct our... It didn't have to correct our alignment. Everything was so aligned, we just kissed up against that thing, and we docked easy peasy. So while I'm up here, I always F5 to save, just in case. This is a lot of parts. How many parts is this? For almost 500 parts orbiting here. Alright, go back here. Let's transfer our fuel, and then we're going to send this thing home, and then I'm going to take a break. Although it's kind of sad. More and more people are showing up. I don't even know which of these tanks is empty now. Those tanks are full. Those tanks are full. There's so many tanks you can't even hover over it. It won't highlight them all. This tank, full? Are you full? Yeah, you're full. I've been making a big deal of filling the tanks from the center out, so the center of gravity would stay, or the center of mass would stay in the middle of the structure. So let's go ahead and fill up some tanks down on the bottom now. This tank? Yeah, let's fill these up with a fine physics slowness. Links to transfer fuel. You right-click on your first tank. You hold down Alt next to the spacebar. You right-click on the target tank, and then you press in, out, stop, whatever. And you can only do 2 tanks at a time. Sorry. You can't transfer it from one tank into 2 tanks. There are mods that allow you to do that. TAC Fuel Balancer is one. There's another kind of new one that's kind of newer on the scene. I don't remember the name of. But for stock, you just Alt right-click. So there's one tank transferred. Excellent. Let's transfer another tank. I think maybe this one? Yeah. So all I did right there, I right-clicked on this tank. I hold down the left alt. Yeah, I guess either alt will work. but Alt on the keyboard, then I right-click this tank. That brings up the tweakable menus for both, and I click in on this tank. Or I could have clicked out on this tank. So let's just transfer this fuel up, and then we're going to land this thing back at KSC. We'll go ahead and do a channel roll call right quick. I haven't checked that in a while, and it looks like we've got quite a few more. Yeah, we can definitely... I've got some lighting in, some decorative lighting. Adel, Chainsaw Face, Danthus, Ikibun, Greats Hero. Welcome, Greats Hero. Hadn't seen your name before. Green Ember, welcome. Ling, instead of Mindless Orange, I haven't seen you either. Welcome to the channel. Natako, I've seen you. Reaper Texas still here. Traincom, yeah, everybody else is kind of regular. Welcome to the new people. We did a thing earlier where we... Alright, that fuel is good. I'm talking and transferring fuel. We went through using DebRecovery and real shoots. Much fun was had, many funds were recovered. Wow, those are already all full. What's not full? That one's not full. So I just have to get this guy. There we go. We did... Oops, that's not in. In over here. We did a session earlier where we had DebRecovery and real shoots. We went through designing some stuff, some lifters, some kicker stages, orbital insertion stages, and we tried to see how much money we could save with the Deb shoots, the DebRecovery and the real shoots mods. I think, what was it? Our rocket cost 14,000 to launch to accomplish the mission straight stock, and that same exact mission with DebRecovery and real shoots, we were able to accomplish the mission for 2,500 instead of 15,000. So definitely, definitely worthwhile. But this is a Kerbal Space Academy broadcast where we actually try to learn some stuff. Heaven forbid. All right, what else? What else? That one, no. This one, do you have fuel? You're full. Aha, there we go. So we'll get our last tank here and click out. And we'll transfer the rest of the tank from the Epic 4 automated fuel drone over to the orbital fuel rotary. I mean, look at this over here. We carry 333,000. That's actually a little high because we're docked with it right now. But over 300,000 units of liquid fuel, just under 400,000 units of oxidizer, more than 600,000 units of fuel total. I think the station clocks in at, what is it? 4,000, 5,000 tons when it's fully fueled. Honestly, I don't know what it clocks in because I didn't look in the VAB when I built it, and I have not actually filled it up yet. I did think of trying to do like a challenge design where I designed an Epic 6. What just happened? Why is it not moving fuel anymore? Seriously? And I lost the tweakable. Whatever. There we go. I thought about having a challenge where I could deliver 6 full fuel tanks to orbit. That, I think we could do it, but that ship's going to be a big ship. To deliver 6 full tanks to orbits in a single launch. But I thought about 6 because this is kind of a 6-gun. It's called the orbital fuel rotary because it reminded me of the old school plane engines, the rotary engines. They had like pre-World War II, World War I planes, the old Sopwith Camel sort of rotaries and stuff. But looking at it from the bottom reminded me of a plane's rotary engine. And honestly, looking at it from the top is really freaking cool. I mean, all the strut work and stuff that holds this together. Ah, yes. Good times. If you need fuel in space. If I had known better... When I first designed this, it was pre-.24, before they rebalanced these little reaction wheels. I should have put the bigger reaction wheels on here. RCS, no RCS. We don't have any RCS on the station. This is straight up for filling tanks for interplanetary transfers and that sort of stuff. It's not really designed as a refit, refuel facility for craft that are going down to the planet. This is where my MUTs, my multi-purpose heavy utility tug, this guy right here, he's kind of an interplanetary kicker stage that is designed solely to accelerate things up to curb and escape velocity. He docks with the tail end of it. Let me see if I can't get a shot of him there. See his docking array with his cargo adapters. He'll dock up against another ship that is intended to go somewhere else, and he will use his however much delta V he gets plus massive thrust to weight with the big old Kerbodyne engine on the back of it there. He will use that to kick that interplanetary craft out of Kerbin's solar sphere of influence, and then the mutt here will slam on the brakes with the nuclear engines, turn around and come back home, aerobraking back into a circular orbit. Then he'll rendezvous with the rotary again and refuel his single tank from the rotary. So the purpose of the rotary is not maintaining the smaller craft that are operating around Kerbin. Those smaller craft would be refueled somewhere else. The mutts are refueled here from the rotary. So hopefully that answers your question on how much RCS it holds. None. Let's see here. Have we moved everything out? I think that we had a little bit of extra fuel. That's our deorbit fuel. Yes, these tanks were still full. Oh, and when I moved that, I only did one side. So let me go ahead and just toss this fuel into one of these tanks up here, because we don't need that fuel to get us home. Okay. And we don't need this fuel. Alright, that fuel's not there. That's the fuel I moved back. That was me flubbing it up and forgetting that I had redesigned this craft. Because it used to be a single core of these bigger, of the orange tanks, and now I've done a double core of the orange tanks. Because I needed more thrust. So, what do we have? We've got 100 and something in there. We've got 100 and something in there. That's our deorbit fuel. Beyond that, this delivery is a success. Has it been nighttime yet? Somebody asked if we could see this at nighttime. It's just about noon right now, so it's going to be a ways. I can always come back to the station when it's nighttime. That impressive RCS not. I don't understand that question, or that statement. I'm using on this thing, I'm using the new Werner engines. And I have tons of Werner engines because when these things are full, there's so much freaking mass on that craft. Let me go ahead and F5 since we've successfully done the fueling. And let's undock and go home. So we'll switch to it. SAS engage, RCS engage, panel already locked. We'll puff off the station. There we go, puffing off the station. See you later, orbital fuel rotary. I cannot wait to get out of your physics range. Simply so that the game stops lagging like this. I should have made it half as big. We put 42 tanks on there because 42 is the answer. But 42 is also the answer to lag. Yes, this thing will land. If you stick around, you will see this thing land safely. It does land. But let me watch my fuel. I don't have much left, and my... there we go. Turn the RCS off. We don't need to be using that fuel anymore. And I am going to need to puff away from the station. Space Ops dictates that I cannot light the main engines this close to the station, even if I'm not going to hit it. So let me... There we go. There's my my retrograde. Turn that RCS back on. Puff away from the station. It's odd that I'm front heavy. Huh. Anyways, puff away from the station. RCS off. And let's go ahead and fire this thing up. You know, I ate dinner right before I started streaming. I may hiccup the stream just to start a new recording session. But maybe we can tune this thing as part of the free play tonight. Maybe I'll hiccup the stream and I will tune this thing. Yeah. If enough people express interest in staying around, I will get me a snack and hiccup the stream and continue streaming if enough people express interest. I think KSP TV may be streaming or something right now. We'll see. So there, say goodbye to the fuel rotary. Say goodbye to the mutt. Let's go ahead and plan our deorbit. No, we're over... Wow, we're over KSC right now. Alright, we're going to have to do a complete orbit of this thing before I can deorbit. So, let's go ahead and time warp. Turn off physics. I'm going to watch this. I don't want to impact the station. Orbits are funny. You would think that you would continue to move away, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a... Hey, Danthus, take it easy. You have an 8 a.m. class tomorrow. Don't forget you have a 8 p.m. class on Thursday. But hey, thanks for hanging out. Hope you learned some stuff. Kerbal Space Academy. Hope to see you on Thursday. Just continue to watch that orbital fuel rotary. I do not want to impact it. I mean, look how big that thing is. That's a big station. And I need to go all the way around to nighttime. So let's warp. There went KSC underneath us. Good deal. Mindless Orange, that's why this game is so freaking awesome. I mean, you can learn so much in it, and you still have fun. It's like, it's fun to do this stuff, but you're learning. I'm not going to say that just because you play KSC that you could go and demand that NASA give you keys to the Eagle or whatever, right? But it's just such an interesting game. And anything that sparks interest in science and engineering, like STEM sort of topics, I mean, for kids. I play this game with my daughter, and my daughter's 8 years old. And it's just a lot of fun. She never knew anything about rockets until I showed her Kerbal Space Program. And every time we hang out, she's always like, oh, what are the Kerbals are doing? Tell me what the Kerbals are doing. So we hop into KSC. And I don't expect her to be deriving Slosky's rocket equation or anything like that at 8 years old. She's still working on multiplication. But it's just a cool game. We do a lot of Minecraft, too. You can learn a lot of stuff in Minecraft. I don't stream Minecraft, though. I'm still kind of getting into that. I actually have to work in Minecraft. But come on, get me out of physics range. Boop, there's physics range. Now we're nice and smooth. And I think I need to take that mud. Maybe if I take the mud off the station. Distant object enhancement with the telescope mod or whatever would be awesome right now. Let's see where we are in the orbit. I'm apparently inside the planet. I'm going to try to deorbit from right around here, I think. Now, I need to come up with a place and a target. Yeah, I am old. Mine are becoming fishermen. They die for... Nice. I'm old. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm 34 years old. That's how old I am. About to be 35 here in September. September 20th is my birthday. So, in terms of being a gamer, I'm actually right in the middle age. I'm in the average age for being a gamer for the people who spend money on games. But, yeah, I understand a lot of people that may be over there in chat are a little bit younger than me. No worries. Still good times. So I just need to get on around the planet so I can plan my node. Alright. Now I think we're close enough that we can plan this node. So let's zoom in. Excellent. Why do I have a target? I don't need a target. I also don't want my focus to be Kerbin, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and put my D orbit right here and see... That's the D orbit beacon. So basically, wow. That, I do not feel like that would be putting me near KSC. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to guess, test, and revise. Hey, September 13th. Nice. Happy birthday soon. I'm trying to come up with where I can put the node and put the periaps at this, or not the periaps, but put the point of impact at this beacon such that I can land right near KSC. It doesn't look like this is a recipe for success. Let's do the middle of the desert. There's the middle of the desert. Let's see if we can't hit that. I feel like we're going to land in the ocean. But I feel like that's okay. What are we coming up? 40 seconds? Yeah. All right, let's try this. So I put the node in the middle of the desert. I put the point of impact on the deorbit beacon. Let's see how that gets us. 107 meters per second. Oh, 1 to activate the engines. There we go. Close the knob. Activate the engines. Yeah, not as old. I mean, I didn't have kids when I was 30. I had kids when I was younger. That is one reason I have an 8-year-old who's also, and I'm a little bit younger, I guess, for having an 8-year-old. All right, let's burn. That's too much. Let's see if we can't make it say. Nope, we're not going to be able to. And stop. Let's check it. Point of impact. Where are you at, point of impact? Yeah, you're pretty close to the D-orbit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's see, burning from the middle of the desert, a little bit right of the middle of the desert, burning from the middle of the desert, let's see where we deorbit. Let me set up my orbital belly flop here, which is the dorsal side. There we go. I recommend everybody doing this with their crafts. I always put little lights, these little guys here, right? These little batteries with the lights on them on the dorsal side of my craft, the top. Kind of like if you're sitting in an airplane, the tail fin sticks up on the dorsal. Same thing with a shark. If you're talking about a shark, the big fin that sticks up out of the water is the dorsal side. So this is the dorsal side of the craft, and I always like to mark it. Maybe I should start doing it with shark fins. That would be cool. I like to mark it simply because it makes knowing which keys to use a lot easier when you understand what you're looking at orientation-wise. So what do we got? We almost timed that perfectly. Look at that. With our deorbit fuel, we almost had the perfect amount of fuel left over. That's cool. Now, if anybody didn't know what dorsal meant, you thought you're watching a stream of a guy playing a game, and then it's Kerbal Space Program, no less, but we're talking about shark fins. I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, dorsal side. Anybody know, is there a different term or aeronautically than dorsal? Is it top? That's fine. 12, whatever. I'm not worried. I mean, anybody who wants to join the stream can get in here and ask questions. Lynx, you shouldn't feel old. I don't think that you're older than me, are you? And Lynx and Hag both. I'm pretty sure neither of y'all are older than me. Let's see here. Here we go, setting up for the orbital belly flop. I would really like using this thing as a lifting body, or at least an aerodynamic body where I could fly it through the atmosphere and deflect it down if I needed to come in sharper and deflect it up if I didn't. Let me time warp this stuff. So here we're passing over Kerbal, India. Our beacon should be somewhere down there. Why don't I see it? That's odd. There's the beacon right there. Under 100 kilometers, I guess. And let's see how this deorbit goes. First year of middle school tomorrow. Nice. Starboard. Starboard's the left. No, starboard's the right-hand side. Port is the left-hand side. I remember that because port has the same number of letters as left, and starboard is the longer word, so is right. That's how I remember that. Alright, here we come in. There's the Kerbal Space Center down below us. It does not look like we're going to... This is going to put us in the ocean, so we need to deorbit sooner. Maybe from that mountain range over the desert. We did it from the middle of the desert. Maybe we need to burn it from this mountain range or the middle of this plain. We'll see. So, I do not believe we're going to come anywhere near the Kerbal Space Center. Continuing time warp. Yeah. That was no good at all. We need to burn a lot sooner. Get down in the thicker atmosphere a lot sooner. Here comes our re-entry effects on this huge ship. I will stop warping whenever the re-entry effects turn off. That was going to be nice. Star Citizen. Have not played Star Citizen. Stop time warping. Alright, we need to flatten out, and then we're going to pop our chutes when we're under 10. How far are we from KSC? 70? Whatever. Shut those lights off. Pop those chutes. Watch this. If you like things, watch this. Do you like chutes? Because I've got them. I've got chutes. Why am I tail heavy? Why do I feel tail heavy? Okay, no, I'm doing good. Alright. Many chutes. As it turns out, those are all real chutes, and that's how many real chutes you need to land this thing flat at under 6 meters per second. I mean, you thought that ship was big? Look at those parachutes. Look at the size of the chutes compared to the ship. Thank goodness for real chutes. I could not deorbit this thing with stock chutes. Train, that works if you're doing a re-entry and you're not in career mode where you don't have to recover the money. But if you're in career mode, you definitely want to recover that money. So check this out. I've actually spent a good amount of time on this. And notice how this guy lands flat. That was the challenge. If he landed on his tail, or even if he landed at like a 20% or a 20-degree angle, he would not survive the landing. But since we've got these chutes tuned, look at him open up. Since we've got these chutes tuned, look at those things, to lay him flat like this, he can land just fine. Does anybody like... I heard you like paracord. Oops, I just got a ringly ding. That means I should watch over there and see who it was that not subscribed, that thingy-mabobbered joined us. There we go. Mindless Orange. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mindless Orange. Look at this thing. I mean, jeez. It's not playing around. Just in the second to last version, so no money. Okay, so you play science mode. Yeah, 550 cord. This is a lot of 550 cord. I think it may be like 5.5 million cord. What's the mass of this craft? Do I have time to find out? Empty mass, landing at 80 tons. So it's landing safely at 5.5 meters per second, 80 freaking tons. Here we go. And there's a safe landing, ladies and gentlemen. So, somebody asked me, does it get recovered? The answer is yes, it lands, and yes, it gets recovered. It actually will land on land as well, just as well as it landed like here in the ocean. So let's recover this thing and see how much we get back from recovering it. Survey says, yeah, it's all about landing in a very specific way when you hit water. Because we're landing flat like that, we're actually landing kind of like a boat. Look at this. 224,000 funds we recovered because we returned that thing safely with the chutes. You could not return that craft. You would have been out the 224,000 funds. How much did that weigh, Soul Wager? Do you know what the mass was? I'm not going to say this is the heaviest thing that's ever been landed because it's an empty craft. But let's go over here and see if we can't see if we can't make this thing a little bit more efficient. It's very hard to do the balance the engines, because you always have a little bit of extra weight on the tail end of your craft because that's where the engines are. We'd have to put the engines on pods at the center of mass. Nice, 14 kilometers per second. If you ever want to do a stream and have me promote it as the Eve Return Kerbal Space Academy, 40 mainsails. That was definitely before the STS parts then. Alrighty, this thing was mostly tuned. I think these chutes were a little bit off, right? Yeah, these chutes didn't deorbit us correctly, so let me fix that. Just as I'm remembering things to fix. Recover data? Mindless Orange, if you want to recover data, you basically land a vessel somewhere on Kerbal safely where the Kerbal or a command pod is intact. So if you land the vessel and the command pod is destroyed and the command pod's containing the science experiments, then you can't return it. If the Kerbal is carrying the science experiments and he dies, then you can't return it. Or you can just land the instrument itself. So if you have a thermometer, Science Junior, a Gube, Gravioli, whatever, if the instrument has the data still stored on the instrument itself and the instrument survives landing on Kerbal, you can recover that vessel and that'll recover the science for you. If that's what you were asking, how do you recover data in career mode? Farming Minimus for science is one of the streams that I do for Kerbal Space Academy. So if you ever see a Kerbal Space Academy stream and you want to join me for that Farming Minimus thing, you are welcome to do that. And I will show all about how to get science back from wherever it is you went. These things here, let's do 5.5. Mass to use 1.5 tons. That's correct. And then we'll just do apply to all symmetry counterparts. Alright, that's fine. I think I just had that set to 5.8 instead of 5.5. Wait, what happened? Did we just go back in time, TrainCom? Did you just, did you just lose a year? Or were you fibbing about your age earlier? I thought you said you were 12. Alright. What else did we need to fix? Can anybody else remember anything else we need to fix about this craft? I know that this guy up here was kind of wobbledy. I was going to install... Yeah, I was going to get our part count down a little bit by removing... What are these things? These reaction wheels do 0.8. Sorry, 8. So if I remove 4 of them, that's 24, and this big reaction wheel does 30. So wow, removing all of these, removing 4 of them, and just putting one big reaction wheel on the end, or here, we're going to get a lot more control authority out of that. Let's do that. Let's remove that, remove that, remove, hey. Remove this. Remove this. Yeah, this will definitely... And I didn't really like how these looked, but whenever I went to the double core mod, or the double core design where we've got 2 of these, I needed to go with this so that I could, so I could use it as landing gear, basically. So when I land on land, I actually use those things to land the craft on. These are landing gear, and I did this for symmetry purposes. Something about Werner engines. I think I said I needed more. Yeah, I guess I missed that comment there. Sorry, my bad. Jeez, like I'm doing a stream or anything. I can't put it there. I'll put them like this. So we'll take that off. We'll put that there. We'll put that there. Wait, where was my 2x symmetry? Alright, that's cool. And then do I have room for the same part down here? Ditch that. See if we have room or we need to put some sort of spacer in. I'll take it. I think that that's okay. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look like it's realistically clipping. Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it. In that kicker stage, wow, that center part of the kicker stage runs out of fuel first. But I don't want it to be the last thing burning. Something about putting more fuel on there or something. It works. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Werner engines, yes. But then I remembered that we have 6 forward-facing Werner engines. I think when I said that, I was only seeing these 2. But I forgot when I redesigned the craft, I put 4 more Werner engines on those control pods. So I think I'm good on Werner engines. What do I have? So what did I have? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, that would give us 80. Now I have 4 times 30, which gives us 120. So wow, I've got 50% more command authority, and I can take this part off. Probably gonna make the craft a little bit cheaper too. Yeah, look, that saved us $10,000 on the craft. All right, that's cool. That is definitely one of the impressions I'm doing when I say That is Minecraft derived. I'm not ashamed to admit. The kicker stage looks so dumb. It's just an artifact of the way that you can't tree things the way I would like to. I mean, we could always put... That would look kind of dumb. Could we tuck engines in somehow? I mean, right now we've got 3,000 units of thrust, don't we? And there is no combination of smaller engines. even these guys are 215. Even for those, that's nowhere near. That's 800, not 3,000. Arrow spikes give a little bit more, I think. No, 175, that's less. I don't think that there's anything that I could use to get this. Even 220, that's not going to do it. There's no smaller form factor part that I could use to get 3,000 units of thrust. Huh. Do an Enderman? Yeah, sorry, I can't do that one. That's one of the things. I'm not going to be able to do an Enderman impression, sorry. I wonder... I wonder... I wonder... All these youngsters don't even know what song that is. There we go. I don't know if these nose cones, I mean, they're not really doing anything. I almost think that I should just leave them off, because they're clipping, and I try to avoid clipping, but then again, even that part there is clipping. I'm going to tweak a couple things here so that I get rid of some of this clipping, because I do not like clipping. I am very superstitious against clipping. What do you even have in there? What's the core of the craft? Yeah, that's right. I used the solid fuel rocket. I'm not even going to try to do an Enderman, sorry. Of the things that I will try to accomplish on this stream, an Enderman impression is on the list of no-can-dos. Alright, so let me see if I can't remove this clipping here. What's it gonna take? Not one of those backwards. That would be too much. But this thing I don't think is going to be long enough. Yeah, that's not going to remove the clipping at all. In fact, we need something that about fits in that space there. So we could always do... What could we do? I mean, one of these is probably just too long. Plus, I don't think that would look very cool. Yeah, the battery's the core. There's a battery. I mean, that's not the important part. The core is one of the large solid fuel boosters. This is the core. And that thing's the core because it's the longest structural piece that has no bendable joints. It actually carries no solid fuel. But that is what I use for the core on this thing. We said 120. I would like to keep those SAS units installed. What if we did... what if we took that off? And what if we put one of these in upside down? Yeah, that doesn't clip. It doesn't clip and it doesn't look terrible, and I don't need that battery there anymore. That's one more part we can remove. Jeez, I can barely move this rocket. Alright, we'll do it this way. Like that. Oh, but I don't think this is gonna work. Let's do it. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, I needed that part though. Let's use a structural fuselage. No. Let's use a fuel tank. One of these fuel tanks. This will be my deorbit fuel. When I build these automated fueler drones, I always try to put a hidden tank somewhere that I won't actually use the fuel out of. Let's... that looks pretty dumb. That actually looks really dumb. Let's see if we can tuck it in some more. Alright. Because what I wanted to do was this sort of number. Times 2. What do you mean? What do you think you're hitting? You're not hitting anything. Sir? It thinks it's clipping against something. It must think that it's... Yeah, look at those tanks. That may be one reason that I have to get rid of that... See, that doesn't look so terrible. A cable. A cable. Casble? Casble. I don't know what that... I don't know that word. That's not a word I know. We could use a shorter fuel tank in there, because we don't need this nose to stick off this far. And then that would tuck us in a little bit, and we would look a little cooler. Let's try that. So, get the whole rocket. Get that. We use that little ribbed tank. Whoa, no, I did not click on that. There we go. There we go. That's weird, it went black and white for a second. Hey look, that's almost perfect. And that removes the majority of clipping. That's almost perfect. I like it. I like it. And we really, I mean, we don't even really have to worry about the... that a causable... Yeah, I still don't know what you're talking about. A causable? I still don't know. I still don't know what's going on there with what you're telling me. Alright, that's good. We've got the deorbit fuel in there. But anyways, I think I'm getting some orbital shenanigans. 90, that's not very much. I think I'm getting some orbital shenanigans because of the mesh that comprises the center of the thing. I think if we had something, because these parts actually, they sink into it a little bit. I don't know if you can see. Let me clip. Yeah, that just shows me the other side. See how these parts here sink into these parts? It's because of the mesh on this, and it's with these tanks radially attached to that. So I may need to get rid of this just because of that effect. That may be what's causing some orbital wonkiness. But just for good measure. How much battery do I have on this thing? I had 1,000. Now I may have a lot less than 1,000. We may have to include batteries somewhere, because I definitely know we need battery charge for running all these SAS modules. It'd also be cool if these weren't upside down. Hey! That's not where I clicked. That's kind of cool though. Didn't know that that would work. Alright, get rid of that upside down SAS module, put a correct SAS module on it. Alright, there we go. Now with many percents less clipping. But I do think that I need those batteries. So let me go capsule. The thing that holds... Ah, gotcha. Capsule. Yes. There's no capsule on here. As much as I like killing Kerbals, I would not expect them to ride into orbit on a automated fueler drone. In fact, since this is the automated fueler drone series, it purposefully has no place for Kerbals to ride. It's not designed to ferry Kerbals around. I think I do need to put that battery back, so let's do that right quick. And then we can do this number. I just want to make sure. How much? Oh, 4,500. I don't really need those. And now we're just a little bit too tall. That's okay. I don't think that looks too bad. That passes my my design requirements. And we'll put a little strutty McStrut or something like that. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I think the other thing, gosh, if the... Yeah, we'll think on that. So let's... Was there anything else I was supposed to fix? Maybe let's do a mission with this one? Actually, I said I need to go ahead and hiccup the stream. So here we go. Yeah, let me go ahead and hiccup the stream right quick. I'm not going anywhere, but it's going to say that I stopped streaming, and then it's going to say that I start streaming again. I'll be offline for all of 10 seconds. And the reason I do that is because that allows me to kind of cut the videos up and deal with the video files a little easier. So, I'm going to stop streaming and begin streaming again immediately.